from Toronto.
I'm actually Theresa, using my daughter's computer because my computer wouldn't work. I'm from London, so we're 1 year out.
Oh.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi, Nancy. Hi, Katie. Krista.
Sandra was my wonderful, awesome coach.
Aw. It's so good to see everyone. And then Daniel, how'd you get the job? How can we get a job?
I have no idea.
All right.
Hey, who's the new Daniel?
We are live. Welcome. Welcome to the Google for Education Certified Innovator webinar series. This is the first of a couple to help all of you get interested in the Google for Education Certified Innovator program and learn more about how to join a cohort. And we're so thrilled to be joined by some really talented global innovators with us today who are going to sprinkle in some words of wisdom, build your PLN, and hopefully all of you leave today inspired to join this community and also informed on how you can get prepared and get your application in. So a few ground rules. This will be archived. So don't worry if you need to go or if you have anyone that you want to share it with after. It'll be at this very link that you're watching today. And hopefully you all see our YouTube chat. Let me throw this up here. And you can pop that out if you'd like. We'll try to archive it and send it to you in case there's any resources. But go ahead and start dropping in your introductions as we get started, and I'll introduce our panel. But please tell us your name. A lot of you already have started. Where you're at, city, state, country, if you're out of the United States, and what your job title is right now. We were so excited to see with the RSVPs, we have teachers, principals, technology coaches, higher education faculty, pre-service educators, and even a few students want to apply. For the most part, all of you are eligible. If you're a student, you still need to become an educator and graduate high school. But we have life goals for you to join the Innovator program. We have some baby innovators in all of the global cohorts, and we hope one day they grow up and become Google for Education Certified Innovators too. Cool. So while you get your introductions in the chat, you can also drop in your Twitter. If you're in YouTube Live, you can't post a link unless you're a moderator, but you could put your @Twitter if you want to build your PLN or personal learning network right now. Everybody here on the chat today and on the panel are resources for you. So as you start to mold your challenge video, your idea that you have, it's a really great community to share what you're thinking and get some feedback on. Awesome. Some really great handles flying through the chat right now. I'll take a quick step back as those introductions come in. Today, we are going to look at introducing ourselves and mainly focus on two things. Why should you join the Google for Education Certified Innovator program? What it is, and then how do you join? And we'll do super high level today, but our next two webinars are going to be the Google for Education Level 2 certification, which is a requirement. We'll walk through that whole process in detail in our next webinar. And then the final application itself, coming up with a challenge that you're facing and coming up with transformation questions, answers in the application. So that's what we'll do today. If you have any questions throughout the webinar, throw them in the chat. Our lovely panelists are also in the chat, so hopefully they can help me glean out any big ones that come up. And then we'll have a chance at the end for you to ask questions. Let's go ahead and introduce our panelists quickly. Can we just go round the horn? And I'd love if, just like our folks in the chat have shared, there's also some innovators in the chat too. Thank you for joining. So we'll start with Theresa, if you can just tell us your name, what cohort you went through, and maybe what city, state, country you're in right now. So Theresa, thanks for joining us today. How are you? Oh, I think you're muted.
Go.
There you are. Awesome.
Okay, I'm Theresa Ham. I am located out of South Carolina. My cohort just celebrated 1 year from London.
Awesome. Thanks, Theresa. And Theresa designed a really cool pair of shoes. So you could ask her on social media to share her Innovator shoes with everybody. Thanks for joining us. Sandra, how are you? Thanks for joining. Let us know a bit about you.
Hi, I'm Sandra. I'm from MTV 14. Before it was Innovator Academy, it was still Teacher Academy, and had the opportunity to coach the MTV 16 crew as well as the Tour 16 crew. And actually, Wendy was my coach.
Oh, and I'm Wendy, everybody. Hi. Thanks, Sandra. Nancy, how are you? Where are you? What cohort were you from?
Well, now I'm unmuted so you can hear. I'm Nancy Minicozzi. On Twitter, I'm known as Coffee Nancy. Coffee. And Sandra was my coach. I was in Tour 16. So I had a great time in Toronto. And right now I'm in Southern California. So excited for LAX because that's just right around the corner from me, so to speak.
Oh, hey, Micah, how are you?
Good. Hi, Micah Shippey, social studies teacher in not so sunny Syracuse, New York. I'm from Tour 16. Sandra was one of the coaches there. Wendy was there, and Nancy was in my cohort. Super stoked to be there.
Thanks, Micah. Great to have you. Katie, how's it going? Oops, I think you might be muted. Hey, Katie, can you hear us?
Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. It froze when you said
No
my
problem.
name. Hi, everybody. I'm Katie Seamer, and I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I'm usually quicker on the draw when my name gets called. But my cohort was actually MTV 16, and Sandra wasn't my coach, but she was one of the coaches. So, and then Crystal was also in my cohort. For fun to be connected with so many people again.
Thanks, Katie. All right, Dan, hi. Who are you? Where are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm Dan. I am Global Program Manager for the Certified Innovator program at Google. I'm calling today from the San Francisco office. I'm native to Southern California myself, so especially excited to host you all at our Los Angeles office in Venice. And the best part of doing this at Google for me is to interact with the amazing people who make this program possible and participate in it. So hope to see many of you there really soon.
Thanks, Dan. All right, Crystal, hi, how are you?
Hi, everyone. I'm great. My name is Crystal Ho, and I'm originally from Ohio, where Katie's at now. And now I'm in the Boston area. I was in the MTV cohort with, as you see, everyone else that's a part of it. And my coach was Monica Martinez, which was awesome. And then I got to coach the WDC 17.
Awesome. Thanks, Crystal. Excited to hear your tips today for our prospective applicants who are all in the chat. And just checking out the chat, everybody, looks like we're from all over. We've got Chicago in the house. Susanna's in the house. We've got South Carolina. We've got Teacher with Tuba. We've got so many great people. Maryland, East Bay. Let's check if we have any international folks in the crowd. Some international love. Let's see, scrolling through our chat. All over, lots of Cali. Cool. Thanks, guys. If you're just coming into the chat, please feel free to introduce yourself. But these are our lovely Innovator panelists. So thanks for joining. Canada, thanks. Thanks, Sandra. Always got to remember. Cool. So let's keep cruising, everybody, and see why you should join these lovely people who are on the call with us today. Thanks for introducing yourself. A few things. Here's your opportunities that we're on the call for today. Our very next one is going to be, as Dan mentioned, in Venice, California, just right next to Los Angeles, and that is English language. So, and one of our biggest questions we got was, I don't live in California. Can I still come? And how do I get there? So we'll answer that in just a moment. But in terms of not being from California, anyone is welcome. Obviously, you want to make sure the language matches the one that you most use or that you're most comfortable with. But anyone can come, not just for California educators. But you do have to find your way to the Google office. The Google Venice office is awesome, and it will host you with food and fun and swag, but you do have to get there. And we'll chat in a bit with the panelists about some strategies for securing time off or perhaps finding funding. And there is limited funding available if you do apply and get in. There is funding to support you that you can certainly reach out about in our process of acceptance. But the other ones on tap, everybody, are in Amsterdam, Netherlands is closed. So that will be coming up in May. We'll be in Spain, Spanish language only in October. So if you speak Spanish and want to join us, you're more than welcome to apply for that cohort. Another one for English language is Copenhagen in Denmark. So that's we have some of the folks on our chat today went to our Sweden event last year. And if it's English language, it's open for all of you if you speak English. So please feel free today. Those might be your two options that you're looking at. And then also Mexico City in November, Spanish language only. So these are our only options for 2018. We did get a lot of questions asking, can we come to New York or to your neck of the woods? But these are the events for the Certified Innovator program for 2018. But every year it's a new place, so you can hope for it coming near you next year as well. I think I just heard, I thought somebody popped on. Oh yeah, hey, Desiree, how are you? Thanks for joining us. Did you want to quickly share where you're at, what cohort you were in, and say hi to everyone? You might be muted. There you are.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Hi, thanks for joining us.
Hi, this is Desiree Alexander. I'm joining you from Shreveport, Louisiana, and I am the founder, CEO of Educator Alexander Consulting.
Awesome. And which cohort were you in?
Colorado 16.
Awesome. So as you can see, the cohort pride is strong. So the cohort that you go to will end up being your group that hopefully after the program you stay in touch with forever and ever. Right, Crystal?
Yes, definitely.
Awesome. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in. But this is our playing field for the year. So I'll keep on cruising. Cool. Why join? So I'm going to ask the panelists to share if anyone wants to just unmute and pipe in. But the Certified Innovators are a global group of over 1,500 educators, 50 countries, all with one common purpose and transforming schools with creative solutions to tough challenges in education. So I'd love to ask our panelists what you think, why somebody might want to join this community. Open floor.
I'll start. So first, our picture is up there. MTV 16 is proud up there doing our jump photo, I just like to say. But definitely you're expanding your network in your PLN, and whatever problem or innovative idea that you have this great cohort and awesome coaches to lead you through that process, even if it turns out to end up switching and you fail fast, hopefully. The speakers are amazing. They bring in so many awesome speakers. They're just incredible. And also, like, in your cohort, you find these like-minded people that help you grow and innovate. And I still connect with all these different cohorts that I'm following on Twitter or that I just stay connected with. And it's pretty awesome because they're still helping me with whatever ideas that I come up with today.
Thanks, Crystal. Anyone else want to share a good why as we have everyone on the chat here? Yeah, jump on in.
I'll jump in. My first thought is I joined just strictly to fangirl Miss Ho over there. When I actually did, it was just watching the, I guess, the community on Twitter over a period of time and thinking, you know, is this something that I'd really be interested in? Is this something I would fit into? And I went for it, and there's absolutely no turning back. I mean, when Crystal said it's a PLN, it's that and more. It really is truly a family of like-minded people who just support you, especially if you're like me, come up with crazy, chaotic ideas on a daily basis. And I feel like people in my cohort and other cohorts really keep me grounded.
Awesome. And what was, you do get to come to a Google office, and in this case, it would be Venice, but does anyone have a favorite about being inspired by kind of Google culture and offices and being around all of that? Does anyone want to share a favorite moment from their office that they visited?
I actually just visited the Kitchener office here in Canada. It's the largest one out of Waterloo. And it's just amazing the passion that the Googlers have in terms of their belief in their organization and what they do. And that 20% time, it's a real thing. All the employees who are there, they pursue those with a passion, and they are innovative. And so just calling it an Innovator Academy is really fitting, because you are joining minds with other innovators and coming up with new ideas and being inspired to pursue those ideas.
Thanks, Sandra. Dan, do you agree? Does that sound spot on?
Sounds good to me.
And Sandra, what was the best snack at the micro kitchens in Kitchener? Did you try one?
Oh, I'd have to say the soft serve ice cream.
Awesome. Cool, guys. Well, hopefully you've gotten a sense. If you have questions about, maybe if you're thinking about why should I apply and have questions for our innovators right now, throw that in the chat. But we'll show a few more reasons you might want to join this community.
Hey, Wendy, it's Desiree, if you can hear me. One of the main reasons, honestly, I do have to continue with that. It definitely is a family that you are joining. And it not only gives you inspiration and things like that, but it gives you so many ideas, and it just helps you step up your game, because you see these amazing people that you meet, and it's just, I mean, it forces you to want to do better and want to do more. And then it introduces things to you that you never really thought about before. And you're like, okay, well, now I'm going in this whole different direction with this guy or this gal. And, you know, now we're going to work on this together. And I mean, it's overwhelmingly inspirational.
Yeah, I will agree with that. I think it's such a great group of people, and what I really liked about it is I came with an idea, and I was already kind of working on my project, and it didn't change that much from what I envisioned, but I really liked the feedback that I got from other people, and I liked feeling like I was participating in helping other people work on their ideas. And it was just such a great process to go through and see and develop everything. It was wonderful. And the people were wonderful. And it was so welcoming in the Google office. And I got to go to Canada, which was like super awesome. So it was so wonderful. Everything was great.
Thanks, Nancy. Cool. Thanks, Desiree. Really great inspiration there for sure. And I think you definitely captured it. And that's one of the reasons I had here. So inspiring other educators through advocacy opportunities. You'll drive transformation through a project you're passionate about, leadership skills through ongoing learning and development. And then you also get mentorship from other innovators. So that might be my next question for the crowd. That is a fun part of the program, is getting paired with someone that is there to give you feedback on your project as you move throughout the year. Did anybody want to share about their mentorship, either if you were a mentor or are a mentor or received mentorship from somebody you got paired with as part of the academy?
I definitely want to jump in on this one. I think it's been my favorite part. Jessica Laux is my mentor, and how we were paired is my coach and several of the other coaches in London said, Theresa, we have the perfect person for you that has just as much energy as you do. And she was on the East Coast as well. So our mentor-mentee relationship has been incredible.
Awesome. Thanks, Teresa. Anybody else?
Yeah, I can play real quick.
Go ahead, Micah.
Okay, I was paired with Eric Lawson. Eric and I work together, bouncing some ideas off each other, and I'm currently mentoring Derek Doucette. The process is really cool because you think of it as this one-shot deal going to LA or Amsterdam or wherever, but it's actually at the very minimum a 1-year professional development process. Beyond that, it's what you make of it. And I think finding your tribe and finding a mentor that you can really bounce some ideas off of is really powerful.
Awesome. Thanks, Micah. Katie, did you want to add to that?
Yeah, my project was all about connecting educators all over the globe. And so it was really important to me to bring that same mentality into my mentor-mentee relationship. So my mentor for my project was Carla Arena, who's actually in Brazil. So, kind of building off what some others had said about why you should join the program, how it just immediately connects you to this global network of other like-minded educators. And that held true for me in my mentorship as well. And so kind of like Micah said, even beyond that year, we've stayed in touch a little bit and just check in on each other. And so that's been really nice too. So that for me, just the PLN piece, being connected with this inspiring global network, not just from the PLN perspective, but from learning from these people as well, has been a huge reason for me to join too.
Thanks, Katie. And in the chat, we saw how big your actual cohort would be, and it can be around 36 educators in each group. So not too much, but not too small, and just enough to get a team of like-minded innovators working together. So thanks. Keep those questions coming in. Let's keep sharing a few more benefits, and then we'll transition into how you can join us. Hopefully we've still got you on board with wanting to join the community so far. A few other benefits. Obviously, you'll get a Certified Innovator digital badge and pin. You can join the Google for Education directory where others can find you and consult with you or connect with you. Monthly learning opportunities, membership, as you heard from everyone on the call so far, that such a powerful PLN to be a part of. And then some fun opportunities to be product ambassadors or looking at new launches of Google for Education products. And then also a platform for your project. So once you complete your project, Katie was talking about Classroom Bridges, her Global Connection project. There's a platform to share that on and help get users on board with what you're doing. So just a few benefits. If you have any questions about those, is there any other benefit besides community that we've already shared on the call that some of you have enjoyed or want to highlight?
It's a pretty awesome way to make connections with people in the industry. In their cohort, you never know who knows who. And when somebody knows someone, it really greases the wheels of progress. So the networking potential is definitely there.
Totally.
Well,
thanks, Micah. Your mic's a teeny bit muffly. If next time we come around the horn, if you wanted to shuffle something, but yeah, for sure. And I think being able to, if you have a project, like Micah's was in virtual reality, and being able to network with a Googler or support, or find the right team to help you, that's a really nice benefit for sure. Cool. And here's just a few of those projects and kind of what it looks like to amplify them or to help you, once you launch them, get others to access it and replicate the great work that you're doing. And as you start to think about your application, this is what you'll work on when you go to Google, is designing this project. So don't worry right now if you don't have an actual project ready. the application is designed to help you think about the challenge that you're facing. And then you'll get to work with awesome coaches and Googlers to help come up with a solution. So if some of you have applied in the past or have talked to colleagues or friends, it has changed a little bit in that you will need to just submit a challenge that you're facing and your innovation history, but not so much a solution. We really want to keep you open-minded to see what's possible, to start thinking of 10x crazy solutions to try to solve that in education. And I'll drop in the chat. We do have a transformation directory where you can see all of these to get some inspiration. So right now, if you're looking at a deadline of when the application is due in May, then now is a great time to just start even sketching out what your challenge is and start brainstorming what that could look like. But you do have all the way, and we'll share a date timeline, but you do have until May 18th, so more than a month to get prepared for this, and we hope you do. Cool. A few other innovation project requirements we have up on the screen. Having a mission that matters, right? So it should be something you're passionate about. Think big, but start small. You'll iterate and fail fast. We want you to share and also spark with imagination, but fuel with data. So trying to measure what your impact is as well. So just a few things to think about in the back of your mind. A few other things. We had a question: are two people able to apply to work on the same innovation project? The high school librarian and I would like to create a project to address a need to our school and district. That's really awesome. You do need to have individual applications stating that challenge. And again, if you both were selected, then you could work together to solve that at the Google office. But they do need to be two separate applications. So thanks for asking that. And I think we addressed this in the beginning, but if you're an aspiring educator pre-service, you're welcome to apply. Higher education, yes. Principal, superintendent, teacher, part-time teacher, informal educator. If you're in education, we'd love to have you help solve some of these challenges with us. And maybe I'll throw this one to our panel. How much time do I have to commit per week to work on the projects? We'll look at timeline here in a moment, but there is some pre-academy work to look at who your users are, who are the people that you work with daily that you're trying to help solve their problem. And then there's a couple of check-ins throughout the year and the goal to complete your project by the end of the year. Does anyone want to share a little bit about time commitment, both before, obviously at the academy, 3 face-to-face days, and then after, staying in touch with your mentor and checking in?
Well, I can tell you that my project is a podcast, and it's 15 minutes because ain't nobody got time for more than that. We do it twice a month, so there's prep work for that. But we meet with our mentors, I believe it's 4 times to go over, and it was really easy. My mentor was actually in Australia, so we did it all via Google Hangouts. It really depends on what your project is. Some projects need a lot of work at the beginning to get them off the ground, and then once you get it going, it's kind of easier to do. Other ones are easy to start, but then as they get rolling, it takes more time. I don't know, in my life, everything seems to take as much time as I have available. So, but it was reasonable. It was a reasonable amount of time, and it was something I was passionate about doing. And so the amount of time that I spent didn't really bother me. And I think I saw some people saying, what can we do to increase our chances? I think one thing that you can do is to pick something that you are passionate about and that you care about, because that shows through in the application as well.
I'll piggyback on that just a little bit and say that I think with the time commitment too, I mean, anything is as much time as you want to put into it. So it's really easy to get psyched when you go to the Innovator Academy and you're all in right away, and you come back and you're ready to dive into your project, and then you go back to work, and then life happens and you have commitments at home, and you're trying to maintain a life, and you have to keep up with your work life because that's what you're getting paid for. You're not getting paid on your project yet. And, you know, all of these things. So it's easy to get distracted. But if you're passionate about it, then you're going to be a lot more willing to put the time into it. And that's my biggest kind of overall application tip, kind of piggybacking on what Nancy said too, is not only does the passion show through, but if this is going to be a project that you actually see through and you see to the end and beyond, you're going to want to be passionate about it, because you're not going to want to work on something and put the time into it if you just picked a topic because you thought it'd be a good topic to get selected. So pick a topic that you are passionate about and you want to put the time into.
And I kind of want to piggyback on that. I actually applied for Toronto, and while my project I was very passionate about, it was important to rural areas, which is where I live in South Carolina, and I wasn't quite thinking about the bigger picture. And when I started thinking about how passionate I was about the project that I picked, and it's working with pre-service teachers and transitioning into first year of teaching in the classroom, I made sure to think, you know, what would it look like not only globally, nationally, outside of the box. And that's when I made the Innovator Academy.
And I just, if I
Awesome.
can, just piggyback on what she just said, that we keep hearing the word passion, but when we're talking about time commitment, you really want to be honest with your mentor. You know, when you first get home and you're that first meeting with your mentor, you want to let them know, like, these are going to be my time constraints. How can you help me stay on it? You know, how can you help me stay motivated? How can you, and just be honest with your mentor, and your mentor is going to help you with those time commitments. So if you can meet once a month, you know, your mentor will help you do that. So just be very, very honest with your mentor. These are my commitments. You know, if this by the second month you're like, oh, I'm lagging, just be honest and work with that mentor to help you with your project.
Thanks, Desiree. Those are all really good tips for time management. And I think for all of us, you know, everyone, as Katie mentioned, there's all of you have your day and night jobs being an educator. So we definitely want this to be complementary to your work. So we hope that you can find ways to integrate and make it support what you're doing for sure. Cool. A few other things, everyone. I dropped the link in to find other innovators and their projects for inspiration. Cool. Let's transfer. We'll come back to innovation projects after we go through a few more logistics. So we might end with that. But how you join, we've got a few key dates up here. Applications are now open for LAX 18 cohort in Venice, California. You saw in the beginning of the call, the other cohort applications will open as we get closer to those event dates. So Spain, Denmark, and Mexico City as well. So stay tuned for when those open. If you have your eye on one of those, all of this information is still very relevant to that. Now is a great time to prepare by getting your level 2 certification, to start thinking about your challenges. So it's never too early to start, for sure. We'll focus today on the LAX 18 cohort. So applications are open. They close in May and on the 18th, just before midnight Pacific. Then you'll get notified a week later. And one thing for time commitment, leading up to the July 9th through 11th face-to-face at the Venice office is a weekly pre-academy prompts and virtual learning. So really getting to know your cohort and starting to empathize and think about those people that you were talking about in your application will give you some prompts and ideas for really finding out what they need so that you can come to Venice and dig into how you can help solve that problem. which is another reason why we don't want you coming in with full-blown solutions just yet. Then come to Venice. Obviously, you need to find your way there, and hotels. There was a question about, can you help us find which hotels? Once you're accepted, we'll share group rates for hotels, and again, opportunities for you to request support if needed as well. But then you'll just see here in terms of workload, in August, you'll get paired with a mentor. Somebody asked, what's a lookbook? That's the global Innovator database of mentors, so that you'll get to choose from, that you get paired with. And then really from there, you'll check in halfway through in January. And then our goal is a final showcase where everyone can get together and share their project, whatever form it ended up being at the end of the year, so that you can celebrate and get folks using or participating in your work. So let us know if you have any questions about that timeline. And then how to apply. You do need to get your level 2 certification. So we'll dive into that and what that looks like in just a moment. And then you also need an innovation video and a few short answer questions. So in the chat right now, let's just do a quick level set and see where is everybody at. So let us know, are you currently level 1 or level 2 certified? Drop that in, and if no, let us know, are you planning on taking that here in the next 5 weeks before the application is due? We did see a question in the chat, if your level 2 certification is expired, which it will after 2 years, then you will want to retake that exam. We will have an opportunity at the end of the call for you to get a level 2 exam voucher. So stay tuned for that at the end of our webinar today. And another question is, if you have level 1, yes, you do need to get level 2. And this was a requirement just in the last couple of years. But it is designed so that when you come to the academy, you're really applying all of these skills and not learning so much how to use spreadsheets innovatively or specific steps, but really able to apply those to solve your challenge. So hopefully you see this as a good opportunity to get this certification and be prepared to start solving your challenges. So we'll look quickly at the chat. Let us know if you have any specific questions about getting certified. And I will go into if there is any certification tips. So as you're looking at the certification center, at the Education Training Center, I'll drop that link in right now if you don't know where that is. It's on the same page that the Certified Innovator program is on, so certifiedinnovators.com. You'll see in the left-hand side, there's level 1, there's level 2. And you do see that there's first a place to learn. So you'll see learning units there for you at your own pace to walk through use cases, sample quizzes, all of that. Then when you're ready, you actually transition from that training center to the exam center, where you actually log in and have 180 minutes to complete your exam. So there is those 2 different environments in the training center. And then one other thing to note is don't leave this to the last moment. If you don't pass, you can't take it right away. So you do need to give, I want to say it's a week in between. But I'll open this to the panelists now. If you've gotten your level 2 certification in the last couple years, does anyone want to share tips for getting this requirement done?
I'll be happy to talk on that. So I explained to my teachers when working on this that level 1 was certification was the teacher inside of the classroom. And I felt a lot like the level 2 certification was the teacher leader. When someone says, hey, I'm hung up on this, or I need a little bit of help, or I need some support, I felt like that's what level 2 offered. So I actually went through the training. I shouldn't say I actually went through it, but I went through all the training that was in the center, and it's perfect. So it brought me to another level for adding to my expertise, because I'm an instructional coach and I was outside of the classroom. So it just brought me back to a level 2 where I should have needed to be. It's perfect.
Thanks, Teresa. Anyone else have tips for studying or logging in and actually doing the exam?
I think it's a really great exam. It's pretty unique in that it's not just multiple choice. There's actually a practical piece to it, which I think is such an innovative exam in itself. But I would say be prepared that it is going to take the full time, and also that when you register for it, you only have a short period of time before you have to write the exam. So if you don't have time in your schedule to actually do the exam, you might not want to register for it right away, because otherwise you're doing an exam like me in the middle of the night because I just mistimed my schedule. Don't do it in the middle of the night.
How many of you did your application in the middle of the night at 11:50? Anyone?
And you're on camera too. That's what, you're taking your certification exam and you're on camera. And I kept apologizing, saying, please understand it's late at night while I'm taking this. So I'm like, please.
I know, I was falling asleep and doing push-ups to stay.
I did mine. I was going to say I did mine during the day, but I work in a Google district. I had been using Google. I was already a Google trainer, and so I was pretty familiar with everything. So what I did was I went to the training center, and there are the different modules there that you can look at. And so I took the practice exam at the end of each module. And if I got them all right, then I just skipped that module. So I only looked at the modules where I didn't get 100%.
Oh, that's really smart.
Yeah, it saved me a lot of time, because I did pretty well on them, since I've been using everything very regularly. They're not trying to trick you. It's a very practice-based exam.
Awesome.
And that's the tip that I give. This is Desiree. That's the tip that I give for level 1 and level 2, is to go through the fundamentals, but just take those quizzes at the end and see what you really need to look at. And then for the multiple choice, especially for the level 1, you do want to look at the more digital citizenship and things like that, those fundamental courses. And actually on my website, on educatoralexander.com, I have a list of like what the fundamentals actually go through, the skills, and it's completely free. You can get the whole PowerPoint, and it shows you the skills that the fundamentals actually go through, so you can brush up on your skills before you take the test.
Thanks, Desiree. And looking at the chat, some really great, I love that Lisa got giddy from level 1. So I think, Lisa, you might be the right, if level 1 made you giddy, then you might be an innovator if you got giddy after level 1. That's awesome. Cool. Frank had a question about if you passed the sections. I got a passing score, but no details. Any thoughts around if you, I guess if you didn't pass? Nancy, I liked your thoughts around thinking about which ones that maybe you wanted to work on if you need to do it a second time, for sure. Cool. Any other lasting thoughts about getting certification or any questions in the chat? William said, I love using the skills learned in the training while taking it. Felt more applicable. Thanks for sharing. Cool. I love that Andrew on the chat, Innovator, says, just do it. I just did it. Just make sure you have the time and your laptop is plugged in. Awesome. Cool, guys. Well, we will have another webinar for level 2 specifically. You don't have to technically have level 1 certification. When you apply, you'll see there's a spot to upload your level 2 certificate. So one caveat is just make sure when you upload it that you're uploading the actual certificate with your name and not the badge or anything like that. And since Nancy mentioned being a trainer, you certainly can be a trainer, a Google for Education Certified Trainer, but you don't have to be. But there certainly are many innovators who are both innovators and trainers, but that has a different set of requirements and a different community. Cool. All right, certification tips. Now we're ready to dive into the actual application. So level 2 you need to have, and you can get that anytime before 11:59 p.m. on May 19th. But go ahead, if you can go to the certifiedinnovators.com page, and once you're there, you can go to LAX and just click on apply. Even if you're applying on the other ones, you can still use this as an opportunity to open up and see what the application looks like. And I'll try to drop it in. I tried to drop a full-blown link earlier, and the YouTube live chat didn't like it. So I'll drop it in. That's the link to the actual application form. And you'll see, one, you can see just that basic timeline information is all there. But there is a link in there that goes to a document. And so I highly recommend everyone on the call, even if you're not sure if you're going to apply, to open up this doc that's there. I'll try to shove it in here in the chat. I'll give it my best. This short link, it'll open up and make a copy of a Google document, and that can be your own personal, there we go. Let's try that one. It can be your own personal short document, and you can just start brainstorming it. And now you also have this awesome PLN. You saw all those Twitter chats fly by earlier, and you have our panelists here who can share their Twitter handles as well. You can always share this document and say, hey, am I on the right track? Or can you spell check this for me? Or please feel free to use this document to start to capture your thoughts. And then in that document, you'll see the short answer questions and then the prompts for your challenge video. And then there's a bunch of, obviously it's a Google form, so it's going to make you go next. So this document is so you don't have to, put in answers and click next to get to the next one. But there is just information about your school and students and all of that you'll also put in. If there's any questions or if you are having a problem opening up that document, let us know in the chat. But hopefully you guys all get that fired up and ready to go so you can start even typing stuff right now in there. Cool. Once you're in there, there's some fun questions. They're all around transform, advocate, and grow, which are the 3 themes of the Certified Innovator program. So you'll see there's some fun questions about creativity. Really answer these as you see fit. And really looking to capture your sense of innovation, your googliness, right? Your attitude towards education, and then your history or your aptitude for innovating. I'm not sure if education innovate anything in particular. That really resonate to you as a fellow innovator, having new innovators join. Any thoughts from the panel?
Well, I've scored applications, and you need to make every single character count. It's not so much about it's really hard for me, and it was hard for me when I was writing because I'm concerned about the style and how I write, and you don't have space for that. You don't have 4 words to say. In my previous life, I did, you have to address the prompt, be concise, be direct. But spelling matters.
Great tip. Totally. Anyone else want to share?
I'll just add quickly, make sure you're answering the prompt. I think sometimes people are so excited and they just want to pour everything out there and you can get off on a tangent. So just like we tell our students, make sure you're reading the prompt and you're answering the prompt.
And also reflect upon what the prompt might be trying to get at, because it's not necessarily going to be asking you for your knowledge in music. It's going to be asking you for how you're demonstrating that you're an innovator, that you're able to transform or advocate for great ideas. How are you going to help others to grow? And what are you showing that is different from other people?
Awesome. And thanks, Crystal, for sharing, checking it in the Google Doc for your characters. Yes, the succinctness there is deliberate, so I know it might be hard, but it looks like there's some good tips in there. And like Jason said, it really forces you to think what you want to say. So thanks, everyone. Cool. Any other questions about the short answers, everyone? Someone said, can I post a link to something else? Will anyone look at it? Certainly, it could be looked at if you'd like, and sometimes you're asked for a link. There's a section to post for advocating what work online are you proud of that you'd like to share. So if you're thinking, and if you have plenty of time, you're going for another cohort, or if you're going for LAX, you certainly could start to think about what your online space is. Where do you advocate? Where do you share knowledge and resources? Because all of our innovators on the call love sharing and love learning from each other. So that's a key attribute of being an innovator is being able to do that. So cool. Let's move on to the next part, which is your challenge and your innovation video. If you check out in that doc, you'll see there's a spot about your challenge, right? So it's going to ask you, what is a challenge that you're facing? Can you tell us a bit about those people that you're working with, students or teachers or colleagues, parents, right? The group that you're working with or that you're seeing the challenge with most. And then also starting to state that challenge. And then once you get done writing that all out, you get to make a 90-second video about it. And in your video, really, again, you're not proposing a solution this year. You're proposing the challenge and really how you think you're best poised to solve that challenge. And you can infuse your personality, your history with innovation. That can be in there too. So there's no real formula beyond that, but there may be some tips for when you set out to make a video. Would anyone on the panel like to share, just in this process, even though the questions and prompts are maybe a little different from when you may have joined the cohort, this process of both writing out your challenge with text and then trying to visualize that in a video? Any tips for innovators, prospective innovators trying to do that?
I think
This
I'm ready
is
to jump in.
Desiree. Oh, go right ahead.
All right, Desiree. I'll catch up.
Oh, well, I was just going to say, just from, doing it and being a grader on multiple ones, please show your personality in your video. Do not have that video be super boring and you just sitting there talking. I'm sorry if I'm being rude, but just show your personality, show your passion, especially if, someone's sitting there grading 13, like what's going to make yours stand out? What's going to show that, man, you're the one that I want to give full points to. Make it contagious. Make me want to work on your innovator project, even though I don't even know what you're talking about, but make me want to do it. So just show your personality in your video. And if you have a boring personality, then show somebody else's personality in your video.
Thanks for keeping it real, Desiree. I did share, I saw on chat some folks mentioned, where can I see examples? Theresa, you shared, if you just YouTube, Google, search Certified Innovator, you'll see examples. One thing to note is those videos might be a little bit different, as in years past, we've asked for the actual solution. So please use those as inspiration for technique or how to visually tell your story. But remember in the back of your mind when you're designing yours to keep it challenge focused. I also dropped a link in that bit.ly/certified innovators. That's the directory of the last few years of innovators, which if you drill down, you can see their actual project titles, their contact Twitter handles, and a link to their video. So spend a little bit of time floating around on there. And then you also can ask these innovators if they want to share in the chat and be brave and share their video. But really great tips coming in the chat and here on the panel. there's no character limit on the 10 things in the box, teach profoundly. If it says it, it'll be right below it. So good question. We'll look on that really quickly. Any other thoughts around video creation?
I was going to share a little bit on video. I am not someone who was scripted. Actually, the first video that I shot, I had taped poster boards to my daughter's t-shirt all the way down to her shoes so that I could read it, and it just felt very unnatural. And so when I was thinking about you guys are going to come up with a problem that we're facing in education, I went and talked to different teachers, to my principal, different people about the platform that I was taking. And once I had it down in my head and what I was trying to say, I just put it all out there on video, and it came through a whole lot more authentic than the first time that I tried to read it off my daughter's cards. So,
totally.
She's laughing at me because it was a bonding experience.
Awesome, great tips. And I have this FAQ up here on the screen too that came in. You know, many folks might be on the call just to even get inspiration on how to come up with a project idea. So again, our hope with changing this to challenge is that you don't feel the stress of needing to have a full-blown solution yet. I do see Elizabeth's question in the chat. If you do have a few solution ideas floating around, I mean, it's up to you how you frame that 90 seconds. I mean, you could throw that in there, but we would definitely make sure you don't focus on that. And that's mainly because we really want you to have an open mind. And if you come in with maybe you already started a project and you're just looking to, you know, work on it more, we really want you to be open to some crazy ideas when you come to the office. So awesome. Cool. We only have a few minutes left. Thanks, Mitchell, for answering in the chat. 36 people in the cohort. Thanks, Andrew, for sharing your resources. And Andrew had some good tips about graphics and being succinct and some other fun things. So again, feel free to make your draft, put it on YouTube, and maybe get feedback before you submit it as well. Totally up to you guys. But do make sure that link is public. So many, it's really surprising that it still happens. Always open it in incognito, double check before you submit something, but it definitely happens every time round. We will ask now in the chat, what is that challenge that you're currently facing in education? We'd love to, while we have our innovators here on the panel, maybe now is a great time to just start thinking about what that challenge is. Not your solution, but what's your challenge that you're facing every day? What bothers you? What do you, go and work on with your colleagues and think, I wish we could change this? Let's just hear from the crowd. Throw that in the chat. What are you thinking about? And this will become the basis of your challenge video and your short answer questions. So let's hear what everyone's thinking. Updated devices, Kathleen. Student access, student motivation. Awesome. You will get a chance too. Some of you might come to the Academy and have similar challenges. So it'll be really great to come together and not have a solution quite yet and be able to see, what does everyone think about student motivation or access or meaningful PD, Michelle, or distraction, Joshua. This is all really awesome. Makerspace movement. Cool. So Ali, you might want to start thinking about the challenge behind that. So even if you're thinking about something cool, like I want to spread this, or think about what the challenge is that it may be solving. For sure. Differentiated learning, no subs. Man, there's a lot of problems, you guys. But that's okay. I think that's why having this network is going to help solve that. Chris has asked, a vision deck is no longer required. You're right. So if you applied in the past, if you've applied in the past, many innovators have applied several times and gotten in. So, if you apply to LAX and don't get in because it is only 36 awesome people, you'd still be, for English speaking, you still definitely could apply to Denmark and head out there. Again, transportation being at your cost, but you're welcome to come to either ones as well. There are no solutions, says Mitchell. There are solutions. Oh, good. Cool. So now that you have those challenges, if you saw somebody who had a similar challenge, maybe connect with them. And maybe, again, you want to submit separate projects, but maybe you guys want to share your short answer document with each other. Cool.
Hey, Wendy, can you hear me okay?
Oh, yeah, I can. Micah, you want to pipe in?
Yeah, I'm super excited about this year's focus on a problem rather than a project. I think it's an opportunity for folks to have some powerful conversations in their school community about who they are and where they see themselves going. It really opens the whole floodgates open, I think, for PD possibilities, for talking to your administrators in your schools about what you want to see get done and cause positive change. I know one of the issues is always, how to pay for this whole thing. And if it's perceived as a year-long professional development opportunity where the stakeholders are involved in informing the problem, I think that could make it a little bit easier for them.
Totally, Micah. Cool. So lots of great challenges. Now we encourage you to take those back. All the ones that you shared are very worthy challenges. Advice would just be really drill down into that challenge and see what's the actual problem that's happening here. And that will help you as you craft, how do I want to tell this story in my video, right? Because you're telling the challenge in your video and ways that maybe why you might be a good person to solve it, right? But not all the solutions. Cool, guys. Well, let's see our final questions that you might have. Again, applications are due May 19th. We'll send you all the next webinar, and then we'll also send you a form if you'd like to get a level 2 exam voucher. Please fill out that follow-up form, and we can provide, we have a limited number, so reply quickly if you'd like a level 2 exam voucher to complete your level 2 exam. You can use the Google EI Twitter hashtag. Please feel free. That's an open community. You can share your works in progress for some feedback. info@certifiedinnovators.com. I'm happy to answer any one-off questions as they come in. And we'll send you the next webinar that's all about level 2 certification. So stay tuned, everybody. And thank you. Big round of applause to all of our amazing panelists tonight. Really appreciate all of your feedback and ideas and tips and advice. We really hope everyone applies to join some innovators. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys. Good luck.
Thank you